All right, here's what we got to do. We've got to use parametric equations for all the dimensions of this, starting with D0. So D0 is 3 inches, and D1 is going to be D0 times 5/3. So let's boogie on to it. Open up Inventor and go ahead and start a new sketch. I'm going to put that sketch in the XZ plane. I'm going to make a rectangle, and the very first dimension there is 3 inches. I'm going to hit tab, and I'm going to type D0 times, or star, parentheses, 5 divided by 3, close parentheses. Is that going to work? Uh-oh, it doesn't like that. The reason it doesn't like that is because it doesn't know what D0 is yet. So what we're going to do is just leave it blank and hit enter. Now I'm going to go ahead and enter in that dimension. And now I can put D0 because it knows what D0 is. And then times, parentheses, 5 divided by 3, close parentheses, enter. And what you'll notice is I got those 2 dimensions there. The next thing I'm supposed to do is go ahead and do the plate thickness. So that means I finished the sketch. And I'm going to extrude it. And the extrusion, or the plate thickness, I'm supposed to use D1 and go ahead and divide that by 20. So it's 1/20th of that 5. So 20 divided by 5. 5 divided by 20 is what this is, right? 5 divided by 20 is like 0.25. Select OK. Now you'll notice under More, there's a taper angle of 0. That's actually going to be our dimension number 3, the plate taper angle. So the next one is the slot width, D4. So I'm going to create a sketch on the surface here, and I'm going to go ahead and draw in, I think I'm going to use a line, straight horizontal, and it should be D0 divided by 2. So let's see if we can put that in. D0 divided by 2 and hit enter. So it's 1.5 inches. Next thing we're going to do, all right, let's pick it back up. So I right-clicked and said OK. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a dimension. This is dimension number 6, the slot depth location, from the left edge to the right side of our slot width line. And that one is going to be D1 times 4 divided by 5 times 4/5. All right, and check that off. It says it doesn't like it because I didn't put the times in there. Sorry about that. Now we're good. When it's red like that, that's your hint right there. So that's D5, and D6 is the dimension in the other direction. And that one should be D0 divided by 3. Okay. And the next thing is, let's see, the slot has a radius of D2. Let me see what happens if we select offset from it. No, that's not what we want to do. So we actually want to have a radius. So I'm going to draw a circle, and it's putting the diameter. You'll notice it's putting the diameter of that circle. So I actually want it to be a radius. So it says to use D2. So I'm going to do D2, but divide it by 2 as this one. Sorry, D2 divided by 2. And you'll notice it's actually a pretty small circle. Let me think for a second, because that actually looks a little too small, doesn't it? All right, click OK. And not that one. So d2 divided by 2. Let's just try d2 because maybe it is doing a radius for me the way I wanted it. That looks right. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. You'll notice I get those dotted lines, so it locks it in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw a line from the top of it. It gives me a line dot. Same thing at the bottom. You'll notice the tangent geometric constraint showed up on those. And finish sketch, because the next thing we're supposed to do is extrude it. So we'll go to extrude, and we actually want to cut it. And I'm going to select all of that slot to cut out. Right? Alright. And it says D1 divided by 20, but I actually want it to be equal to D2, which is the same thing. So you could have left that as it was, but if you put D2, that works. Alright. And for some reason that looks a little bit small to me. So I'm going to actually edit it. And where we have the dimension here, I was dividing by 2, and I think I meant to say to multiply by 2. So there you go. Finish sketch. What's for? All right, let's pick up where we left off. So you'll notice what I did was I edited the sketch, and I changed that dimension to being times 2. I had to divide by 2 initially, then I made it itself, and then it's supposed to be times 2, so that was a mistake, my bad. So the next thing we should look at is, it says, what dimension are we up to? So that was D8, I think. So we're at D9 was the taper probably. So D10. So we're going to put this hole in here. So let's go ahead and draw a circle in. So start a sketch on there. And we'll rotate it around like it is. And we'll put a circle there. And we won't dimension it, but we will dimension the location of it. So I'll add dimension, and this is dimension number 10, and D10 should be D1 divided by 4, right? And then we'll do the dimension for its location from here to here, and that should be D11, which is D0 times 2 divided by 3. And I need to add the multiplication, that's why that's offset. So there you go. And finally, D12 is the dimension of the actual hole, and we want that to be, it says 2 times D7, so twice the slot radius. So let's see what happens. 2 times D7, and when I do that, you'll notice it gives me a very big hole, bigger than I wanted, because D7 for me was a diameter. So I'm going to go ahead and hit escape and double click on it, and I'm going to change it from 2 times it to just equal to D7, and that's the right size hole right there. Alright, so the next thing is finish sketch, and we're supposed to extrude that as a cut, and it should be the extruded cut, I believe is D2 or D8, and let's just go ahead with D8 because that's the one we used D2 already once. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the completion of our extruded piece. Now the reason we do that is because maybe we want to make it a little bit bigger. So suppose I want to keep all the proportions the same but make it larger. Well, I can go in here and change this 3-inch to 6 inches. And you'll notice what happens is it doubled the size of my parametrically built slot plate here, right? And I can go ahead and change it back the same way. Change this to 3, and it goes right back down to size. Finish sketch, and it popped back down to size. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and as always, make good choices.